To start off, I'm going to show you guys a few pictures that I want you to keep in mind as I'm going throughout this speech. To give a little context before I show you guys these pictures, this was my wreck that I had nearly a year ago, and I really feel like it just shows the significance of wearing a seatbelt, because if I hadn't have been wearing my seatbelt, I would most likely not be standing here today. How many of you buckle up every single time you get in a vehicle? Whether you're the driver, passenger, or if you're in the back seat. I can guarantee that there's been a time where you've gotten in a vehicle and just been like, I don't need one. There are so many injuries and deaths due to not simply just buckling up. Personally, I was told by many medical professionals, counselors, therapists, and just everyday people that if I would not have been wearing a seatbelt, I most likely would not be standing here today. Wearing a seatbelt saves lives, reduces the risk of injury, and the likelihood of ejection decreases. Many lives are changed by simply just buckling up. In 2011, the CDC explained in Policy Impact Seatbelts that among drivers and front seat passengers, seatbelts reduce the risk of death by 45%. That is almost half. So by taking that 2 seconds of just buckling up, you could save your life. Borgoni stated in Assessing the Risk of Car Crashes in Road Networks, published by Social Indicators Research in 2021, that in the United States, traffic incidences are the first cause of workplace fatalities and the leading cause of death for children aged 1 to 19. The kiddos of America are being killed because some parents don't care, and some parents just, a lot is going on in their mind. I believe that if parents took the extra step to make sure that their kid is buckling up and staying buckled up throughout the ride, that this could save a lot of children's lives, and it could reduce the risk of injury. Riera explains in a VR enhanced rollover car simulator an indutainment application for increasing seatbelt use awareness, published by MDPI in 2021, that the use of the seatbelt saves thousands of lives every year. For this reason, the presented work shows a VR enhanced rollover and indutainment application designed to increase awareness on the use of the seatbelt. I think this is a very smart idea that more people should consider, because when you physically know what would really happen if you did not wear that seatbelt, I feel like it would make that decision be so much easier and safer. Because when we know the direct everyone knows, if you don't wear a seatbelt, you're gonna get hurt. But when you know the direct consequence of if you did get in a car accident and you weren't wearing a seatbelt, if you know directly what that's gonna look like, I can guarantee that you will be more likely to be like, you know what, I'm going to wear my seatbelt today. In 2011, the CDC explained in Policy Impact Seatbelts that among drivers and front seat passengers, seatbelts cut the risk of serious injury by 50%. When you get in a car wreck, injuries come along with it, including broken bones, brain injuries, and things of that sort. This can be cut in half by just wearing that seatbelt. It literally takes 2 seconds. Liliana Ludick says in Protection and Safety Systems of a Vehicle, published by Annals of the University of Arita School of Textiles Leatherwork in 2020, that in all modern vehicles equipped with airbags, the seatbelt activates the airbag. An unfastened seatbelt could cause airbag malfunction. Airbags can cause some complications within a wreck. It does, in the end of the day, it helps prevent death and serious injury. So when you're not taking that time to buckle up, you could possibly be affecting how the airbag activates. In Seatbelts Save Lives, the NHTSA states more than 27 million Americans aren't taking the simple life-saving step of buckling. 27 million. Seatbelt statistics in 2022 stated about 1 in 10 fatal crashes involve car ejections. 90% of ejections are unrestrained. In case you guys don't know what ejection is, it's when you are literally launched out of your seat. This, as you can clearly imagine, creates several cases where you're sadly gonna die or have very serious injuries. But when you're buckled up and have that restraint, that the likeliness of ejection is way lower. And 90% ejections happen, like we said, 1 in 10 crashes, and 90% of them are unrestrained. That's an insane amount. Taylor Covington explains in Seatbelt Statistics and Facts in 2020, published by the Zebra in 2022, that on average 47% of people who die in car accidents weren't wearing a seatbelt. That is almost 50%. So 50% of the people that do die, if they were not wearing a seatbelt. So you could save lives by 50% by just wearing your seatbelt. Bishop and Benison state in Measurement of Intensity of the Seatbelt Innovation in the USA, published by Australian Business Education Research Association in 2021, that in effect it is intended to reduce the force of secondary impacts with interior strike hazards and prevent occupants from being ejected at the time of collision. In conclusion, seatbelts save lives, lower the risk of injury, and decreases ejections. I'm going to leave you with one last statement. A statement that I think a lot of us use in a lot of different scenarios. And the truth about it is it's a lie. It is not truthful, and you're lying to yourself when you say this statement. It's a statement that we need to take ownership of how we're lying about it, and it needs to not be around. It needs to go. And that statement is, don't think it won't happen to you.